Going to the thrift store, you never know what you're going to find, and that was certainly the case with this item. That at first glance I was operating under the assumption that this was an AM and FM portable radio, just by taking a cursory glance at it and seeing the little telescoping antenna, till I realized that it said wireless signal and hidden camera detector. I'm guessing the brand is X13, and it says 6-gear signal strength adjustment. And I actually scanned the barcode in the store, and it came up for sale on Amazon. In fact, this even looks to be like an Amazon barcode that they put on their products in the warehouse for cataloging purposes. So it looks to me like somebody actually bought this thing. Maybe they didn't even use it, and then they just dropped it off at the thrift store, donated it, and here it is now in my possession. This is kind of off the beaten path from the usual sort of electronic items that I like to review and focus my interests on. But I couldn't pass this up because I've seen these things used in movies. I'm sure many others watching these videos have also seen those movies, and you know how you use a device like this to look for hidden microphones or hidden cameras or sources of emission, be it Wi-Fi or GPS signals and things like that. And the sun's coming in full bore right now, so I have a bit of a glare on the lens. But it's either that or just terribly grainy and low light like it always seems to be, so I guess I'll take the lesser of two evils. So on the side it tells you that you can locate unwanted GPS trackers, eavesdropping devices, prevent phone surveillance, detect pinhole cameras, and even spy cameras, whatever those are. And then on the back it shows that there's a viewfinder for looking for those hidden cameras, I'm assuming. LED lights that give you indication of its operating status. And it just says lights, magnetic detection, signal detection sensitivity, magnetic mode light, charging light, mode button, signal strength adjustment button, and an on and off button. And as is par for the course for these low-end electronic items, we have probably fake certifications and labels on here. So this is how it was. They actually, I don't know, whoever packaged this thing up, they just stuffed everything in here, even though this plastic clamshell type insert is specifically made to fit the device in place for safe and secure transportation. And that's it. I have a very, very vague instruction manual that I've taken some cursory looks at off camera, and definitely has its fair share of botched English, very verbose language, cryptic, just not a pleasant read, trying to make sense of what they're trying to communicate in there. And USB-C charging cable. Yeah, I see some grimy fingerprints on here, so it looks like somebody was either inspecting this thing before me, or that was from the previous owner. So there's almost looks like a little pinhole microphone in there. Maybe that's for a speaker or beeper. It's a power button. Looks like a notification bell, probably for like the sensitivity, and then maybe to switch over to Wi-Fi. The new generation of detectors adopt military quality, more accurately indicates the strength of the signal source, and adopts an efficient and convenient method so that all products that violate your personal privacy have nowhere to hide. This device uses U.S. military technology and exclusively develops various market-oriented bugs, cars, I think they mean detects and not develops, trackers, mobile phone undercover software. How would it detect software on your phone? Wireless pinhole cameras, surveillance cameras, casino fraud and cheating equipment, and other products. This product fully meets the... Well, I'm not going to go on and read this. You can pause the video and read it yourself. Seems like these are the different modes that you can switch into. Detection of radio waves, like wireless cameras, eavesdroppers that transmit wirelessly, probably wireless microphones and the like. And detect hidden cameras. This is kind of going to be an interesting test because a lot of people that stay in Airbnbs and such are always concerned about there being hidden cameras and the like while they're there, hidden in different rooms. So I'm sure a lot of people would probably end up buying these things just for their own peace of mind. So it'll be interesting to see if this can actually detect hidden cameras. It's kind of funny that they need to mention the applicable people here in the scope. People who often use bank cards. People who contact and keep business secrets. Whether the drone camera is quietly staring at your window. Optical lens, special lens. Well, of course, as fate would have it, the battery is totally stone cold dead. I actually have something else that I found at the thrift store quite a while ago. This older Pocket Juice lithium-ion battery charger, which is a bit worse for the wear, cosmetically, and functionally speaking, the battery runs down rather fast in this thing, but it should be enough to get this thing going. Well, we've got a little red LED light now. It's indicating that it's charging. Let's try to turn this on. Press and hold the power button. Okay, so we've got flashing red LEDs. And now, I did do some very preliminary testing off camera. Didn't exhaustively research the functionality of this or the feature set, but from what I can gather, right now it's in the what they're calling the detection of radio waves mode, wireless camera or eavesdroppers, and it's on the lowest sensitivity, hence the single blue LED. The instructions, as I mentioned, are very verbose and kind of difficult to understand what they're trying to convey. You can kind of piece it together, but there's a lot of stuff that it leaves to the imagination, and that's a sentiment that's been echoed by a number of other people on Amazon in the reviews. So kind of just winging it here and trying to figure out what they want you to do with this thing, or what they expect you to do with this thing. What they want you to do is you change the sensitivity and you put it all the way up. Now with the sensitivity put all the way up, as well as the antenna, they want you to sweep around the room, and it will begin to beep and indicate if there's some kind of an eavesdropping device. I have this set to the highest sensitivity, and then if this detects something, it'll beep or it'll vibrate, and then they want you to bring down the sensitivity by pressing this button, and that'll allow you to kind of pinpoint, or supposedly pinpoint, I don't know how well it's actually going to work, pinpoint the device in question. Well, I just came over here to my desk, and it started beeping quite rapidly. Seems like it's picking up, well, it was just beeping, yep. So it's detecting that my phone is connected to Wi-Fi in the cellular network, and then as you move it farther away, the signal strength meter actually goes down, and if I bring it over to the laptop now, is it actually not going to work? Because it was detecting signals before. Yeah, there we go. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Wi-Fi antennas for this thing are right over here. I also have the sensitivity set very low because there's a wireless router right over here that'll cause this thing to go haywire, as it is right now. So it is detecting my wireless router. You can actually change that from a beep to a vibration by just tapping the power button, and now what it's doing is it's vibrating instead of beeping. So it did seem to work over in the other corner of the room, but very easy to overwhelm this thing and have it give you false readouts. Let's say if you have a wireless router in the room, it's going to start telling you that there's a signal source, but it gets rather hard to actually pinpoint it because this thing does have sensitivity levels, but there's no way to really kind of fine-tune it to triangulate where that emission source is coming from. Obviously, in this day and age of just about everything being connected to Wi-Fi or cellular networks, or there being Bluetooth connections going on behind the scenes, something like this will be rather hard to use to locate an actual electronic eavesdropping device with malicious intent, an electronic device whose intent is malicious, because there's just going to be so many false positives coming off of Ring doorbells, wireless routers, repeaters, cell phones, Bluetooth speakers. Something, though, that would probably be a little more useful and applicable to people, again, staying in hotels, rental properties, Airbnbs, and the like, is the hidden camera detector, which, as I've discovered, is really pretty much worthless. Not sure if I'm using it the wrong way, but what they want you to do is press this button, these LEDs turn on, and then it says to adjust the LED sensitivity button, which just adjusts the flashing frequency, and then it wants you to move this up, down, left, and right to scan through the environment with a laser. They're calling it a laser, it's just a red LED, and observe through the special filtering of the accessories of the machine. If there's a camera lens in front of you, you will find a very strong, bright flashing spot. That has not been the case in my testing. So if I turn this on, no, it actually just went dead. Okay, late-breaking development. They don't mention this anywhere in the manual, at least in a way that a normal human would be able to understand and interpret it, but you actually slide this thing up. That's how you look for cameras. So why did that take me all this time to figure out when they should have just... They say viewfinder on here, but they don't tell you it's supposed to slide up. Let's go back to a hidden camera detector. Change that to flashing. Alright, well, kind of a false start here. I think what they intend for you to do, or how this thing is supposed to be used, is just to look for reflections of these red LEDs on the typical kind of smoke black plastic that's over lenses or hitting cameras. Perfect example is this bezel of this laptop, or even the screen. If I hold this up here and look through this little viewfinder thing, move this just right, you can see it reflecting off of that the bezel and the screen, and then when I move it over to some regular non-reflective surface, you don't see anything. And then when you bring it back over here, you see the reflection of the LEDs just bouncing off the surface. Not picking anything up, just seeing the red color cast whenever the LEDs turn on. But if you position this just right, you'll see the LEDs reflecting off the lens. So I guess that's what they are intending for you to look for when you're looking for a hidden camera, is just to see those three LEDs reflecting off the lens. So it would have been a little helpful from the start if they mentioned and elaborated upon the viewfinder actually needing to be extended outward so that you can actually look through it, but it just seems that the only way in which that's going to detect the camera lens is just having these little LEDs just reflect off of the glass of the lens. So definitely not as sophisticated as I would have thought, just very basic, but I suppose it's better than nothing, although you definitely need to know what you're looking for to be able to actually pick up a camera lens just by the reflection of these LEDs off it alone. And you're going to get a lot of false readings, because if there's reflective surfaces like mirrors, glass, laptop screens, you're going to be getting lots of reflections of these red LEDs. So again, could be wrong, but that seems to be my understanding of how they want you to look for hidden cameras using this product. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing now. Maybe I'll have to redonate it to the thrift store, who knows.